Testing, testing. Now, while we are waiting, you may take out your past paper, the internal past paper. We will continue on the remaining 5 questions. Except before, we will focus on the first 5 questions, because for the last question, this is something about the mocap. Okay, for those students who want to get to know more about this, I would show you the answer right after this. Now we start through, from question 6. Now we start from question 6. And indeed, what are they? We have got a list of those different questions ranging from the first, we have got 2 S back. Now let me tell you what are they. First of all, it is about exits and alkali. Something about the precipitation reaction, qualitative analysis, unknown, preparation of salts, and also titration. So in particular, this is back titration. In particular, it's back titration. So that is our layout. We will start over question 6 to 10.
佢好似有，即係佢
好似有啲咩？
史 Sir， 我想問咧，我可唔可以撕咗一份 periodic table 嚟用嘅考試
？periodic table, yes. You may, but normally speaking, we have got a booklet, an A3 booklet. So it is not a separate sheets. So they are found at the back cover. But if the back cover you turn over to the next page, it is indeed your answers. That may be problematic. Now, in your normally speaking, if you have got the hub exam, normally we have got one periodic table on MC answer book, the other one in long question answer book. For B part for long questions, you may get another one. Okay, so you need not here, or you may use it alternatively. Can you get my point? Which means I use MC and I flip over the question book B, the back cover to take reference of the data. Why we do the same, right? What you reverse the position, right, of those two to do part B. Is that clear? Okay, we have got 2. Now question 6. Question 6, a bottle of concentrated nitric acid. Now a very authentic experiment. Evidence this contains 70% nitric acid by mass. It seems like this, right? You may find very authentic, but the question is a little bit different. Now this time you need not calculate the concentration of those concentrated nitric acid. Instead, you use it to prepare 150 cm cube 0.9 molar nitric acid, and using this concentrated acid. So you are going to ask, what is the volume of the concentrated nitric acid required? Okay, you get a point. So it is rather quite different from what you are going to have. Now, first of all, from these data, what will you get? Nitric acid with that dilute. You may get it as a number of moles of nitric acid required. Nitric acid required, which is 0.9 molar times the 150.0 150 times 10 to the power minus 3 dm cube, and you will come to a mole 0.135. But the question comes, how much volume of concentration needed? That is exactly this, and you may get the answer. Can you get one? But sadly, the concentrated nitric acid is not purely that molecule. It also contains what? 30% of water. Can you see that? 70% of acid, 30% of water. So what you need to do is to make a slight change of that data, slight modification of data before you proceed. Okay, let me put it this way. First of all, if you have got this, you may project the mass of nitric acid, remember, molecules. Now, but not the real acid, because acid also contains water, so you are going to do it a little bit in reverse. 0.135 mole times its molar mass, okay, 1.0 plus 14.0 plus 16.0 times 3. Can you get the point? Now you have got mole per gram per mole, and you may get it 8.51 gram. But indeed, the concentrated acid also contains 30% of water. So you are going to project to concentrated nitric acid, the mass of it, by divided this by 70%. Okay, you get my point? By doing so, you can get a larger number. The mass, it will also cover the mass of water. Okay, you get my point? You want to have this, so you take this data. Okay, so because of that data, you may get to know what is the volume of the concentrated acid required. Why? So what other data should be used? So we get 12.2 gram over 1.42 gram per cm cube, and you may get the answer 8.59 cm cube as the answer. So can you see the whole flow? The whole flow is you start from this, and you are going to do this, and you use this data. And finally, point number 1, okay, point number 2, and finally point number 3. Is that clear? So which is also agrees with what I've just suggest with you on the approach to do the calculations, is to do the calculations step by step, starting from the last sentence of the questions. Do you still remember our approach? Remember, do it from reading those sentences from the very end and go back to the first, and you can get the answer. Questions? Now, for B, we will have a essay type questions. How do I know? Well, we've got a star here, right? That is the essay. After diluting the nitric acid, let's come forward to label the solution, prepare and put it aside against the even acid. So you will be differentiate that, okay, by using 0.10 molar sodium hydroxide solution in a thermometer. Think of the experimental step, briefly describe how. Now you will see the word briefly describe how. So which means you are going to give me experimental steps, the procedures, and second, state the principle. Can you get what I mean? So remember, the questions here, you may use highlighter to circle, to highlight some of the important points. It clues you the way to get approach to the problem. And what's more, now you will take a look on this one. So 4 marks. So what would you expect? You have got 3 points plus 1 mark of effective communication. Now somebody may argue, Mr. Chu, we've got 0.9 molar of ethanoic acid checked against nitric acid. Fair test, right? Remember fair test? To compare which is which. What is the difference between the two? The acid is different, right? But the strength is different. So according to that idea, you may think of electrical conductivity. Sorry, no. We are going to give it an exit. So the answer will be narrowed down to only this. You are going to do neutralization. Okay, you are going to do neutralization. The rationale behind simple neutralization, they will give out heat and use that type of heat to dine out the delta T. Can you get the whole flow? Okay, so the first one is to add equal volumes of what 1.0 molar NaOH solution to what equal volume of the nitric acid and ethane acid respectively. Now, so remember, you better label the molarity as well to tell that it is a bad test. But how to measure the heat? Yes, that's right. So you may use the thermometer. The thermometer to record what? The maximum temperature rise during the reactions. So what is the reaction? This is neutralization. And that is 0.1, 1 mark already. And 0.2, the observation. 0.2, observation. So the temperature rise for the neutralization using nitric acid is higher than that using ethanoic acid. Why? State the principle, right? What's the principle? So you are going to tell, yes, the strength of acid differently. Okay? So, so some boring stuff. Nitric acid is a strong acid with complete ionization to form hydrogen. So I will find this. However, for this ethane acid, it is the incomplete ionization, or we call that slight ionization. So you may have the writing on this. Okay. And what's next? You are going to tell me the relationship between delta T by telling the some energy has to be supplied for the complete ionization. Okay. So how about the nitric acid? So remember as something, right? no extra energy is needed. Okay, come on, fine. So we are going to make a sense of comparison. Therefore, the parameter rise for nitric acid and ethane acid is higher than that for ethane acid and NaOH. Okay, so you may get this. So simply speaking, the three marks will be allocated as follows. One, the experimental setup, number 1.1, and point two, it's on here. The results, the temperature rise using this one is higher. But for point two, point three, you are going to tell me the sense of comparison by telling me nitric acid is a strong acid, complete ionization, no extra energy is needed for the ionization, and this one is a weak acid, slight ionization. You may need some energy supplied for the complete ionization, and which will result in the temperature rise being different. So you are going to score the final marks. Only by doing so, you can get the final effective communication if you score that full. Okay, questions? So this is what we are going to have as an essay. So for that type of questions, they made it clear that you are going to give a paragraph length answer. Okay, so there should be something like this. Now never put it in point form. Okay, or else that effective communication mark will be much affected. Question. 你明呢度講咩啊？頭兩分係講緊個方法，第三分講解釋。嗰所謂嘅方法，你冇理由唔包個結果㗎，即係一分方法，一分結果，一分解釋。第二，記住成件事係比較，比較題個中心思想係乜嘢啊？就係 fair test。所以咧喺呢度嘅題目入邊咧係要體現到 fair comparison, sense of fair comparisons by telling the equal moles of acid alkaline with the same molar concentration, and use this to test whether or not it's nitric acid and ethane acid, and you still use the same concentration for fair comparison. Measure the maximum temperature rise is the method. Of course, here comes the results as a comparison. And finally, this part, it tells you explanation, but again, you are going to have a sense of comparison. Okay, step, results, and explanation. 3 parts. Questions? Now, if there are no questions, we come to this. With an 8 of the chemical equation, 2 marks, of course, the equation should be 1 mark, and explain why. The explanation will be have this. Okay, so what is that? Light can speed up the decomposition of nitric acid. So we have got this. So what is the product? Yesterday somebody asked me. Anyone who knows it? Tell me.
It decomposes into. It decomposes into nitrogen dioxide.
NO2. Yes. What else?
H2O, O2.
O2. That's it, right? With the mole ratio to water. 4 NO2, 1 O2. Okay. So remember, you need to balance the equation. So that is the somebody may find it quite hard to understand, right? So that's why it's stored in the brown bottle. You may think of some other cases of having that chemical stored in brown bottle. Could you please give me some other examples? What is the other example? KMNO4, Ki, corn nitric acid. Yes, that's right. What else? Silver nitrate, right? You realize? So halogens normally is also be put into the brown bottle. Questions? Well, if not, you take along the question 7. When ammonia dissolved in water, it ionizes the ammonia and hydroxide ionization of ammonia and water. Wow, that one mark, easy. So it's ammonia, water to form ammonium ion and hydroxide ion. Okay? Ammonium ion is an example for illustrating formation of dative covalent bond. What's the meaning of the dative covalent bond? Popular definition that you need to memorize. What is that?
It is a type of covalent bond in which both electrons come from the same atom.
Yeah, good. So we have got a covalent bond, a type of covalent bond, but a very special type. How is it so special? For the normal covalent bond is made by sharing of electrons, right? But that covalent bond between the two atoms to form dative covalent bond is made where the both electrons come from the same atom. Okay, so what we mentioned is the bond pair, right? Bond pair, share pair electrons, they are contributed by the same atom. So the focus of the point will be this same atom for bond pair electrons between two atoms in this type of covalent bond. To tell this is a dative covalent bond. So the electron diagram will better illustrate the idea. So you may get N, H, we've got a big circle, we've got some other smaller circle. Okay, and we have got ammonium ion is plus. So leaving behind is very simple: dot cross, and dot cross. And finally, it can be both dots or dot cross, like this. So this is very special. So resembles that concept. Okay, is that clear? So you use simply an arrow to tell that is a lone pair electrons on the nitrogen atom that will have a bond, dative covalent bond with the hydrogen ion. Can you get my point? So we call this electron what? Rich, and this it is electron deficient. Why? We have got lone pair electrons on nitrogen atom to have a dative covalent bond to the electron deficient hydrogen ion. So in which it is we have got no electrons there. Okay, but you want to make it duplet. That is B part. Ammonium sulfate alkaline to form ammonia is heated, write the chemical equation. So write it as ammonium chloride, NaOH. Because I just wrote it heating. So write down heating here to form more salts. Ammonia gas, water. Suggest a test to show that ammonia is alkaline gas. Ammonia is alkaline gas. Put what? put a moist what litmus paper. So you're going to yes，又一定要寫清楚啊。Red moist 啊，呢啲字要見到啦。Moist red litmus paper near the mouth of a test tube containing the gas. So this is a step. So what's next is the observation. If the gas turns moist red litmus paper blue, the gas is ammonia. So you may get approach, right? That the first part, what you are referring to is about the step, while the second part is on observation. Remember color change. And this what are the key points? Moist red litmus paper. And that is the key point. Without any single word here, that the whole thing will not be counted as 1 mark. Okay.
And Mr. Sheen, I have a question.
Hmm.
I believe that the test says to test that to show that it is an alkaline gas, and for this one you just said the gas is ammonia.
Yeah. So what are the tests? What test will you suggest?
Actually, I think the question means that you have to show that ammonia is an alkaline gas. So I think that instead of saying the gas is ammonia, I think you should say that
the gas is alkaline. You mean this part?
Yes.
Yeah, good.
So
the
I
gas
should
is alkaline. Good to tell. Now, because you are going to have the alkaline gas, so you are going to tell me that is alkaline. A slight change here, right? Yep, good. What else? So this is the ultimate goal is different. Yes, what I think has suggested a very good point is that you are going to take a look on the aim of the questions. You are going to find out to show that ammonia is an alkaline gas. So the question to go back to alkaline because of red to blue. But the question is to show the gas is ammonia the way, even though you talk about the same thing. Okay, even though you talk about the same thing, but the conclusion I change a little bit, and you can come up with the answer. Okay, is that clear? Good. What else? Any other thing that you want to add? All right, so here comes question H. Let me see how many hours do we have. Oh, question H. Oh, question H. Oh, very authentic experiment on alkaline. Why? I don't know. So you have got the solution of XYZ salts and added with the different types of alkaline. One is NaOH, the other one is ammonia. Drop white until in excess. So you read the questions, and here comes what is metal X and Y. X is what is X and what is Y? On your line, you hear X and Y. X is zinc, yeah, and Y is copper, Epheson's place. What are the evidence? So you may show that equation to tell me, right? The first one to relate is on the white PPT forms. White PPT forms for X. I did put it into alkaline, right? So what can it be? So we've got an EZN 2 plus 2 hydroxide to form EZN bracket 2 OH2 solid. Now, how about the second part? The PPT then dissolves in excess, right? Which means in excess alkaline. So, what is the second statement? Bracket OH2 plus 2 hydroxide to form this. So we will call that syncate ion. Syncate ion. A complex form, syncate. Or you use the word tetrahydroxyl, right? Is it syncate ion? Okay. So whatever which type, syncate ion is simply a term. Syncate. Excuse me, how many hours we have left? Minutes? 1 hour, is it? Oh, sorry, one more lesson to go. It's one more lesson to go, is it? Or is it the end of the double lesson? Let me see. Oh, so efficient. Okay. Thank you. So write down the equation with the stick symbol of the reaction involved. When the aqueous ammonia is added to the aqueous solution of metal ion of Y until in excess. I see, it's Y. So what are they? It is on ammonia. That is another case, ammonia. This dealing with Y. This question. Full PVD form, PVD dissolve, right? To start with, I would write down as full PVD form first. So what is the first equation? Now somebody may think of this, right? And you quickly relate to the presence of the full PVD. But the way I find this, you have to go back to this first, this reaction, the ionization of ammonia in water. So because of the excess of the hydroxide, and here comes that. What is the second part? The PPT that dissolves. So how will you get that one? What will be formed? Or somebody would merge that two. It's also possible. So what is that? Is it the whole complex salt with the name of first change name? Tetramine, copper, to iron. So remember the spelling, MN, INE. I will write more clearly seen such that you can see that. Tetramine. Okay, so you split that into several parts and you can get what I mean. Tetra means 4, M means what? Ammonia containing. Okay, copper 2 on here and hydroxide. Is that clear? Now here comes E part. There are more than one possibility of the nature of the metal ions of Z, what may be. suggest a further chemical test to distinguish the ions of Z from the other.
係咪 lead two ions 同埋 aluminium 啊？
Yes, good. Lead two ions are aluminium ions. How will you know? We'll narrow down that too. Okay.
Dissolves in excess。
NaOH 啊嘛，NaOH dissolve 啊嘛，就係一係就咧，一係 aluminium，一就 zinc 啊嘛，得3個啫嘛，咁即係 zinc 係 X 啊嘛，咁 ECM 話係 lead 或者 aluminium。
係，即係冇其他啦，因為佢哋話 XYZ 係 different metal 係咪？嗱，首先一樣嘢，佢同你講 XYZ different metal 嘛，咁 rule out 咗 X 係升。嗱，首先係睇翻二隻先啦。其實頭先想講咩咧？就係話，就咁睇呢句説話，有幾多個可能性咧？個 Z 就係 zinc 啦，仲有咧 zinc iron 啦 ，iron 啊嘛，跟住仲有 lead
aluminium
同埋 aluminium。lead two iron 啊，你話 lead iron， 咦？點解有 two 嘅？有冇其他嘅？有㗎，有 lead four iron 嘅 ，lead four iron 得唔得？所以咧要搞清楚。你等陣開開藍色會議啦。你個 4B 嘅班科好熱啊，嗰個大。哦。會寫啊？血氣方剛啊！好 ，so you may find zinc ions, lead two ions, aluminium ions。有冇 lead four 係有嘅，咁所以咧記住啊 ，lead 要就係 lead two 嘅。咁由於係咁啦，咁你就只可以咧就話另外兩隻係可能性嚟嘅啫。So you may get this one. What may be? So it may be the aluminium ion or lead two ion. Now, so the question comes, you are going to give a chemical test to distinguish the ion of Z from the other. The other means your possibility. You are going to rule out the possibility. What can you do?
displacement 咯，加 zinc metal 啊。
Plus zinc metal. Can you elaborate more?
即係如果你
Piece
加
of
zinc
zinc metal to the
to
solution.
both solution separately. If the zinc metal become coated with a bad layer of solid, Z is lead two ion. If there are no observable change, Z is aluminium ion.
And what observation would you expect? A coating of lead, you mean? How will you know?
Coating of solid 咯。
Yes, how solid, a type of solid. Can you further describe the color of the solid? There's so many methods. Color. Now, why would I say so? Because observation, you cannot observe it as a lead coating, right? You cannot observe it as a lead solid.
係咪白色嘅？
白色。圓咯，圓啦，
我唔知咩色，我黑色噶嘛，唔係黑色嘅咩？
圓喎，
銀色啊？
銀色咯，係咪啊？銀色
我唔知嘅真係。
點會唔？喂，萬能 key 嚟㗎，你知唔知咧？金屬嘅顏色咧，其實冇乜邊幾隻嘅啫，係咪啊？最大部分嘅顏色咧，就係咩啊？銀色咯，金係黃金咁嘅色，銀係 silvery 咯 ，silvery。銅就 reddish brown，mercury 咁特別嘛，都係 silvery 啫。But most others they are just very they are just silvery. Can you get my point? It's just silvery. 所以咧，你一定要即係 describe 嗰啲嘅 solid 嗰陣時，尤其是你講 silvery shiny solid 類似呢啲嘅字眼咧，其實啲同學咧或者其他人咧就大概 get 到你想講係金屬啦。係咪最特別㗎啦 ？Very unique characteristics. Yes。
我想問下擺 acid 嗰度可唔可以分到啊？
咩 acid 啊？
啊，唔係冇嘢。
你擺咩 acid 啊？
誒咪得㗎，好似 PVC 又唔用㗎嘛，所以得㗎。
其實呢度有幾個方法咧？呢度咧就有有兩個方法諗嘅。第一 ，method one， 我哋嘗試去做一個generalization 啦displacement reaction。咁你會見到咧，頭先係李澤生咧講 displacement reaction 嘅，你就要講咩咧 ？Put a piece of 咩啊？頭先升係咪？Sink metal into the aqueous solution, and you are going to think of two possibilities, right? The first possibility, if the zinc strip dissolves, if zinc dissolves, at the same time with formation of some powder silvery solid on its surface, the solution is what? Led to salt solution. 係咪咁啊？係咪咁啊？你意思？咁第二個啦 ，if there is no observable change， 咁就會係the solution 咧就係 silver aluminium solid， 係咪啊？嗱，聽起上嚟咧都合理嘅，但係有咩做實際上困難咧？就係、其實你睇嗰個 reaction 咧偏慢啦，同埋嗰啲粉狀你要留意下先啦，因為大家都係 silver， 要留意下。第二個方法，頭先話酸啦 ，H2SO4 其實嗰啲咩嚟嘅？咩 type of reaction 咧 ？Precipitation reaction。第二個方法可以做嘅就係做沉澱法 ，try to make a combination of different solution with just like containing 最緊要係咩？你想整咩 PPT 先？一隻有一隻冇嘛
PBCL2
PBCL2 so hydrochloric acid is an example, right? Hydrochloric acid what will be observed 即係一個用一個唔用係咪？用嗰個係
用嗰個係 AL， 唔用嗰度
aluminium ion, okay? While it's not dissolved, it is like 2 ion. Of course, you may use some other example. 唔用 sodium chloride, what I see from Ronald's suggestions is also possible. You use sodium chloride to check for the PVD. With PVD, it is lead 2 ion. Without PVD, is aluminium ion. You may also use what? It is sulfate. 你可以用 sulfate 喎。Let the aqueous solution of the set salts to what? Dilute sulfur acid or some other solution just like sodium sulfate or any other sulfate solution. Can you get my point? So we have got two cases with the white PPDs form. That is what? That is lecture. In another scenario, there will be no observable change. So you may get the ion of Z being aluminium. So whatever combination you will have, okay, as long as it does make sense, you will score that. 呢個乜嘢？有好多種類型，不過咧個不外乎呢兩個嘅方法。第一個方法就係用displacement reaction， 咁去睇一睇放隻金屬咧，除咗放鋅之外，可以放咩咧？可能總之喺個 aluminium 同埋 lead 之間嘅其中一隻，就睇下有冇 displacement。不過唔好處係咩咧？就係、個譬如我solution顏色冇乜變化啦。本身嗰啲金屬咧都係顏色啦，唔容易睇咯，有啲咁你可能等到 powdery 嗰下或者會見到嘅。第二個方法 precipitation 就唔使等咁耐啦， 就快靚正。你就 mixing of the two solution and wait for the PPD to reform or not. If there is YPPD reform, it's lead to iron, while for the not no observable change, it is lead aluminum ion. For the choice of a reactor chemical, it can be any chloride or any sulfate. Chloride, sulfate 都得啊 ，OK？ Chloride 都得 ，also OK。For example, sodium chloride solution. Hydrochloric acid. Questions? 乜都得嘅喎，即係捉到鹿嘅咯喎。咁其實後邊咧都有類似呢啲嘅玩法嘅。Based on the above observation, use the solution in each of the four bottles. 咦 ？feel 唔 feel 到有啲似曾相識嘅感覺？喺邊度見過啊？係咯，上次我哋咪做實驗嘅。嗱，其實原來我哋都要去試做呢啲嘅咯喎。咁其實又係啦，用咩方法都好，第一個 approach 係乜嘢？揾出咩咧？最關鍵、最容易睇到嗰隻嘅先。咁我哋會揾邊隻咧？你會睇 PPD 先啦 ，no observable change 先啦，定係 colourless gas bubbles evolve 先啊？呢個係咪啊？有人圈咗 colourless gas bubbles， 點解？因為佢夠獨特啊！佢夠獨特啊 ！OK， 咁有人話啦，唔係喎，阿 Sir， 我有第二個睇法喎。嗱，譬如我睇下譬如 Ronald 嗰啲咧，你其實係咪會做咗 W 先啊？嗱，譬如係咁樣嘅，有人中意睇 W 先嘅，點解咧？所有同 W 嘅 mixing 嘅 combination 都會有 YPPD， 係嘛？Which means that W is lead to nitrate. So it's rare to have the lead to salts being water soluble. Can you get my point? So lead to nitrate is just one of a very rare example to tell you the salts being soluble in water. But while you get mixed with the different combinations, then you may get what? Lead to chloride, lead to sulfate, lead to carbonate. Can you get my point? So what will we get? Lead to carbonate, chloride, sulfate, carbonate. So you think you use this concept to relate to some other cases. Okay, so only with that combination of W, they will form YPPD with XYZ respectively. With that, I will relate it back to lactonitrate. This is the only combination. Can you get my point? You use this and you can relate to the second point. What is the second point? Well, you think of the colors gas bubbles, for example. So what would you think of the combination? It will
一個 HCl 一個 CO3 K2CO3。
It will be either acid and carbonate, right? Carbonate. What is the carbonate? That is the only carbonate. Potassium carbonate. They will have a combination of that too. So because you are directing X and Y being HCl or K2CO3, HCl or K2CO3, you get my point. So the only possibility that you can rule out is on Y. Y can be what? MgSO4. 嗰幾個嘛 ，so it is Y。明唔明？你可以咁諗喎。
跟住睇最後一個啊嘛。
係啦，係啊，你可以咁樣諗嘅。So because I know why，
唔係，其實睇邊個都得嘅，睇邊個都得嘅。呢一題比較簡單。
Or you may think of white PPT and you may think of the two. So you may rule out X must be what? X must be magnesium carbonate because only that combination will form white PPT. For the other combination is magnesium chloride, sulfuric acid is just water soluble, no other PPT. So because I narrow down it as X is K2CO3 and finally here comes Z being acid. Remember, there are so many different approaches. So we have got different. So my approach in here will start from this W, and we rule out. We pick up X and Z for further discussion. And because of that two, I merge 1 and 2, and here comes number 3, that is magnesium nitrate, bisulfate being Y. And I use this to go back to come up with that two other cases, X and Y, and then here comes the conclusion on that number 4. Can you get my point? 見唔見到我個 logic 嘅流程啊？ So we will deal with the logical sequence, and they will give you can score marks or not. Okay, you may think of other deduction. It's up to you, right? With the logical sequence, it is also okay. 仲有冇其他嘅諗法㗎？你由邊個開始先㗎？你係咪由 X 先㗎？可以嘅喎咧。
Carless bubble 先咯，就係 X 同埋 Z 就係一係 S 一係 K2CO3 啊嘛。
係啦，
然後再睇 no observable change。咁
我就睇
X 嘅 PPT，X 嘅同全部嘅溝埋都有 PPT 噶嘛，咁得 XL 溝 MgSO4 係冇 PPT 噶嘛，所以就知道 Z 就係 XL， 然後 Y 就係 MgSO4， 然後 X 就係 K2CO3 咯，之後排除翻最後尾就係 W 就係 PbNO3
好，講得好啊！你可以咁樣諗嘅，即係頭先其實星個講法就係呢個，即係攞呢個嚟睇啦。可以話 X 同埋 Y 咧 mixing 會有 color CSV 就出現咗呢個啊嘛。咁呢個套翻落去下邊呢個係咪？套翻下邊呢個都 also change 啊嘛。咁 Y 同 Z 都 also change， 咁即係話我就諗 Z 係咩啦？係咪？即係 C 共通點。你可以諗 chloride 同 carbonate 同另外嗰啲嘅 ion 平，你要交換人哋啲 ion。咁咧，你會發覺係乜嘢嘢咧？就係邊個會有其他可能性係咪？咁 chloride 咧，如果 chloride 嘅話，如果佢 Z 係 chloride 嘅話，如果 C 係 chloride 嘅話，得唔得咧？如果 C 係 chloride，跟住你覺得 Y 就等於 lactose nitrate 係咪咁意思啊？
唔係 Y 就係 MgSO4，因為如果 Z 係 chloride 嘅話，咁 W 溝落就 PPT 噶嘛，但係得 MgSO4 溝落係冇 PPT 噶嘛，所以就係 Y 就係 MgSO4。
Y 一定係 MgSO4，係咪咁？
因為得佢一個 no
MgSO4 咧 Y 要同 X 要放埋 PPT 咯，所以你其實你都要諗埋呢句喎。如果唔係你點講通啊？你明唔明啊？即係你冇理由淨係 Y 加 Z 跟住你屈咗 Y 出嚟嘅答案嘛，因為你第一個係 X 加 Y 嘛，所以咧你要睇埋 Y 加 Z 同 X 加 Y 咯，你先有得講咯。因為 Y 你仲未知道佢係 chloride 定 carbonate 嘛。一二你試 Z 係 chloride 啦，你試下諗下 C 係 chloride 嘅話，你可以 lactose chloride 嘅 PPT。跟住如果係 carbonate 嘅話咧，咁亦都有另外啲答案有機會係有 PPT 嘅嘛，譬如 magnesium carbonate 啊，係咪 lactose carbonate 啊呢啲等等。咁所以其實你要 loop 死咗呢扎嘢。咁但係如果咁講法，我其實上邊個 W 嗰度其實我都要諗㗎，你都未諗 W 係嘛？你 get 唔 get 到個 approach 啊？即係你唔係夾硬要屈佢係嘅，你要確定佢係咯。咁你有咩方法去確定佢係咧？嗱呢下就 tricky 啦，呢條題目。你明唔明？因為佢啲 PPT 嘅 condition 實在太多。呢度 get 唔 get 到先？所以咧，其實呢度嗰個 approach 咧，或者 other deduction、logical deduction 咧，我會 accept 咧，其實係我要逐個同你講嘅。即係究竟你係咪夾硬屈咗佢嗰個答案咧？呢、這個係要避免咯。你好肯定嗰個字係。咁點解最尾咧呢一度咧，我會話搞掂咗 W 先咧？因為 W 咧 佢 form PPT 個配搭係最特別嘅。其餘嘅例如話 X 啦，佢 form PPT 咧係 carbonate 就會同 magnesium 會 form PPT 啦。同 HCl 佢 form 酸啦 ，carbonate 就會同 lead to nitrate form PPT。你可以個腦咧係 X 咁樣諗嘅，係嘛 ？X 嗰邊個腦諗，你就要逐個剔翻出嚟。咁跟住咧，如果你係做其他 Y 同埋 Z 起步嗰陣時咧，其實都有類似嘅嘢嘅。咁 Z 有譜咧，其實係方便到你盡快知道係 X 定 Z 嘅啫。所以咧，其實下一步應該要你鎖定 Z 係乜或者 X 係乜，要繼續估落去咯，係嘛？個 approach 應該係咁樣。如果你開始咗 X plus C 係出譜，明唔明？嗱，逐個可以諗下呢啲。仲有一條啦，就第10啦。Outline the steps in preparing a pure sample of hydrated zinc chloride crystals from solid zinc oxide. You have to state the additional chemical reagents that required, but you need not mention the apparatus involved. 邊個嘅 essay type question 要加咩？加咩落去先
Copper to oxide。
Copper to oxide， zinc chloride 喎。咁 zinc oxide 係個 starting point 嘛？係啦，加咩咧
？zinc oxide 落 hydrochloric acid。HCl。
咁點加法
？Until the
add 到
solid
in excess heating while
有寫 in excess 啦，或者係to dilute HCl， 跟住點啊 ？Until no the zinc oxide no longer dissolves， 係嘛？你可以with heating， 或 with warming， 得啦。咁你確保佢呢個係重點係呢句説話，你唔敢寫，你可以寫zinc oxide in excess， 係嘛？都 OK 嘅。跟住多咗㗎嘛，下一步做咩？曱甴。點曱甴？filtration。咁跟住我要啲乜嘢咧？我要 filtrate 啊，所以第3步 ，because I write down remove right， so the remaining is the filtrate。The evaporate the zinc chloride solution， the filtrate until what?
Saturated.
Yep, it becomes saturated. What's next?
Cool down the solution slowly.
Allow the hot saturated solution to cool down. Okay, slowly. It will cool down slowly at room temperature. To what? To obtain the zinc chloride crystal. 跟住又曱甴啦。今次咧，我就唔係要用 filtrate 嘅，我係要用 residue 嘅。You're going to filter off the mixture to obtain the crystal. 仲要做啲咩啊 ？Washing。又係啦，嗰幾句好緊要啊！寫咩啊 ？Little cold distilled water， 跟住咧 ，and dry them by what?
Pressing it between two pieces of filter paper.
between two pieces of filter paper。放焗爐冇分 ，desiccator 有冇分啊？有分 ，OK。咁所以咧，揾啱 chemical 要升嗰齊 in excess 1分，跟住做 filtration 隔渣1分。將個 filtrate 做 evaporation 變成 saturated solution， 跟住直接放 crystal 有分第3分，第4 filter the mixture wash the crystal 同埋 dry crystal 1分，記住 oven 冇分 desiccator 有分，得唔得 ？desiccator 有分 ，oven 冇分。我點知道揀啱嗰隻酸啊？睇清楚，我哋升 core oxide 加 HCl 變成升咩啊 ？chloride 加 H2O。咁我所有嘢咧係由呢條式開始揀嘅，得唔得？所以咧 even 咧今次呢一度咧冇你寫 equation 咧，同學都可以去留意一下嘅，點樣令到自己可以寫得到嘅，得唔得？嗱，第11咧我就唔講住啦。因為咧就係呢個 back 題出題目嚟嘅，考試都考住嘅。嗱，不過你要 keep 住呢個題目啦。咁啊，有冇人識答啊？呢個第11嗰度，有人知道個答案啊？大家先，有人知啊？定係已經飛咗冇做啊？唔緊要啊，考完試之後我哋拎嚟做。OK， 咁咪做個總結啦。呢一課嘅留意嘅地方啦，即係你見到 accent and alkali 咧問得最多係咩？啲 一啲叫做 essay type question 啦 ，QA 啦 ，QA 有啲難啦 ，preparation of salt 啦，係咪啊？見到啊 ，preparation of salt 啦，PVT 啦，係咪？如果 PVT 識寫 equation 啦，要記得翻邊啲係 dropwise until in excess of observation 啦 ，equation 啦，alkali 我就講 ammonia 啦，一定會好多時講佢㗎啦。如果 acid 嘅話咧，呢條題目深嘅地方咩啊？就係要你去做計翻數啦，同埋要 fair test 去比較下呢兩隻酸邊個係強酸或者弱酸，係咪啊？咁即係話其實呢條咧 essay type question 都係會有見到嘅，係咪啊？呢個就比較深啲啦，即係呢個次要啲嘅。即係如果你話我頭先講嗰啲係重點嚟嘅，呢個係次要啲嘅，係嘛？試法套到你嘅 position 嗰啲，有冇嘢問？咁前邊咧都係啦 ，metals 啦，reactivity 啦 ，displacement 啦，計數啦 ，vocal 啦 ，rusting 啦，預咗會問㗎啦，唔該快揾下。empirical formula、molecular formula 啦，set up 同reactivity 有關嗰啲啦，係嘛 ？extraction 啦呢度係咪？如果去到最後啦 ，bonding and structure at the very beginning 啦。咁你要知咩啊？就係一啲比較題目啦，譬如問下你啲 physical property 啊，用唔用汽水啊，導唔導到電啊嗰啲啊，講清楚啦。講清楚咩啊？佢係咪 molten state 或者 solid state 幾時導電？structure 會唔會調翻轉要你畫啊？識唔識畫啊？畫完之後使唔使 label 啊？嗱呢啲你係要 OK 嘅，記住要 label 翻嘅。而到最後啦，如果你講緊 planet Earth 嗱呢啲啊，boiling point 嘅 trend 要識啦嚇。而 atomic work 就之前 form 3嗰啲嘢咧，嗱呢啲係基本嘢嚟嘅，計數 iso relative abundance。iso 嘅定義可唔可以考啊？嗱，其實呢啲都 OK 嘅 ，OK 得啦，呢個就係我哋 long pack 嘅部分啦。咁我希望呢一度咧係可以幫到大家啦嚇，令到大家今次係考到個好嘅成績，下個禮拜一加油啦 ，OK？ 有咩講？
先生
係。
我仲有一題，我想問下咧，即係第9條嗰度咧，
等，你其他同學咧就 break 啦，好唔好？其他同學 break 啦，你再問啦。
佢如果我即係我個，因為我 Y 即係我係都係用 colorless gas 嗰度 gas bubble 嗰度開始啦。咁但係我個 MgSO4 嗰個即係 Y 個答案係屈出嚟嘅，即係我冇同 XY 一齊寫嘅話咧，咁我個 W 個 result 係基於 Y 噶嘛，咁嘅話我係咪2分都冇晒嘅？
如果有呢個狀況嘅話咧，我就要睇到你屈到邊個係答案咯。睇到邊個屈到嘅答案，嗰個就有個 deduction 分咯。 咁因為咧呢條咧，如果係變 essay type questions 咧，出邊嘅考試會點做咧？我呢條係 essay 啊。出邊如果呢條係 essay 咧，啲同學佢哋會做咧就係、發覺你嗰個 order 係唔 logical 或者係屈唔死某啲嘅答案嗰陣時咧，個 communication 嘅分咧俾人扣1分嘅，係咪啊？即係佢話，即係可能佢睇完之後，你都唔清楚，唔知你諗乜嗰啲咧，咁就個臨尾嗰分冇咗。但係可能佢最尾你寫咗啲 equations 啊等等咧，你又咁啱咗咧，咁佢就會俾分咯。不過你諗翻轉頭，如果你寫翻轉，即係諗翻轉頭，你根本你都逼唔到埋牆稿，一定係肯定嗰樣嘢嗰陣時，你揀得啱嘅原因係咩？因為你好彩咯。咁即係話你有一個機風險咧出現咗，就你變咗你估另外嗰啲係唔啱咯。你明唔明講咩？咁所以你可能分鐘咁咧，你都攞唔晒呢分嘅。所以咧，最後就係你到你覆卷嗰陣時，你應該做啲咩咧？就係、你自己望翻轉頭，其實你會唔會寫緊呢啲 deduction 嘅次序，喐一喐佢都會揾到答案咧？嗱，今次係有機會喐到嘅，因為個答案得翻4個啫嘛，而我俾晒所有嘅 combination 出晒嚟㗎嘛。咁理論上你唔覺，你係點都會寫得翻呢啲嘢，但係只不過你寫落去嗰陣時咧，你就冇攞嚟去解釋，去決定佢係X 或者 Y 係乜，或者 Y 係 Z 係乜咯？你明唔明啊？因為我頭先講咗啦，如果用 Tyler gas bubble 嗰陣時咧，你係 X 加 Z 係諗到係酸加 carbon 嚟配搭嗰陣時，你係要話翻俾我聽 X 係乜同埋 Y 係乜㗎？咩 X 係乜同 Z 係乜㗎？咁你用翻上邊嘅嘢要繼續講咯，得唔得？咁你 no observable change 如果你要攞 no observable change 嗰陣時咧就麻煩啦，你就要估2個可能性啦，就係邊隻 chloride 嘅配搭係另外嗰3個配搭時係唔會出 PVT 咯 ，get 唔 get 個邏輯啊？應該調翻轉諗啊嘛。lacto nitrate 佢 W3個會出 PVT，所以我鎖定呢個 lacto nitrate 啊嘛。但係如果 X 加 Y 係出泡嗰陣時，咁你去翻 Y 加 C 係唔出保護即係冇 PVT 啦。咁即係話除咗冇泡之外，另外嗰幾個配搭一定要係冇 PVT，嗰個咪就係答案咯。如果根據呢個講法嘅話，C 咧就係酸咯，就係 H 一定 HCl 啦。即係我要咁樣諗咯。
OK 好啊，唔該。
但係當我咁諗嗰時，你發現咗咧，就係、我都要知 Y 係乜㗎。如果唔係，我答唔到 Y 咯。你明唔明啊？諗唔到嘅，諗唔通啊，因為如果你覺得 Z 係 chloride 嗰陣時，你 Y 係乜嘢咧 ？Y 可以係好多嘢㗎。係嘛？除咗佢唔係 lacto chloride 啫嘛，咁你亦都可以係 carbonate， 都仲係啱㗎。如果你估到仲唔係 carbonate， 咁你咪估到係咩啊？唔係即係得因為係啦，咁你可以用呢個方法去諗咯。所以咁喎 ，X 加 Z 係呢個配搭 ，C 係咩啊 ？C 係如果係有機會係酸咯，因為酸加另外嗰個。係 Y 有機會係 Y 啦，有啲你估到係 carbon 嚟，carbon 嚟一定唔得噶嘛，係咪？就係 MgSO4 或者 lacto chloride 佢唔係，跟住你要肯定埋 Y 係乜啦，係嘛
OK。
依家錢Sir，我想睇翻答題嗰個框架係點寫嘅，框架我唔係好識點寫。邊
個？第9題。
第9題。
第9個框架。
係我唔係好識點寫喎。
唔係好識就聽翻 cat photo 嘅。
哦，好啊，唔該。
好啊，咁啊 break 咯，好嘛？你咪5分鐘之後要講啦。好。
錢 Sir，可唔可以 send 埋個第9題 model answer 出嚟？
會啊，我 cap 落去嗰個group 嗰度咯。OK。拜拜。